news on the skyline glow. Cut the static, let the truth winds blow. Facts don't matter in the fire and the fray. We roll the reel, then fade away. Flash the headline, stitch the night. Truth in the frame, wrongs in the light. If FSM News keeps calling it back, one last shot, and that's a wrap. Facts don't matter even when they shout. We close the scene, no fear, no doubt. FSM News stamped on the final clap. Curtains fall, yeah, that's a wrap.
Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday night. It's July 23rd. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So glad you made it. Thanks for coming in. We know you got choices to make, and we're super glad you choose to spend some time with us. So thank you, friends, our new feature show. And tonight, as soon as we're done with That's a Wrap, we're going to pivot right to debate night. We'll see how that goes. In case you were wondering what I was doing earlier, well, I took a motorcycle ride with my fishing pole, and there's a reason that it's called fishing and not catching, because I shut out again. But that's okay. It was my Zen moment. And then I make my way back home, and just a little while ago, I was on with a creator that we've affectionately become to know as the Thumb. This individual is a horrible, despicable human. Basically minimizing gun violence and gun deaths. Saying 2,900 kids. What's that? Nothing to see here. Anywho, that was my evening. So I'm ready for this tonight. Thank you. Sinjay was in there as well. Yeah, Timu Mr. Clean. We call him the Thumb, appropriately so. Anyway, friends, thanks for coming in tonight. I appreciate you all. You know the drill. Tapping is clapping, and liking is loving, and sharing is caring. Please help us out with the gift goal. Would really appreciate that. And please check out the items in the gift gallery. If we can take out those tonight, that would be awesome as well. Also, crowdfunding, as always. Any donation of $3 or more on Cash App, PayPal, Venmo will get you entered into this week's contest for merch items. We will spin the wheel on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and the winner will get to pick an item from the merch store on yours truly. So thank you again, friends, for being here. The biggest thing initially, just to help us take out that gift goal, appreciate that. When we transition to debate talk in a little while, I would just ask that I don't initially want, it's kind of, we're testing the waters. I like to do debates one-to-one because I think it's better for the audience personally. Not a big fan of the big panels, but we'll see how it goes tonight. So if you are in the box when we convert to debate talk and you are friendly, I would just ask that you drop. Although I'm having a difficult time managing my box all week. It's been pretty wild. Anywho, thank you for being here, friends. I appreciate you. We should check in because the activities have picked up again in the Gulf. The U.S. has launched the 13th consecutive night of airstrikes inside Iran, extending the sustained air campaign. According to reporting, the latest strikes targeted facilities associated with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and infrastructure the U.S. says supports threats to commercial shipping. United Nations has issued a stronger warning about the conflict. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the Middle East is, quote, on the edge of the unimaginable, urging maximum restraint as the risk of a wider regional war grows. I'm not sure if you know this, but the FIFA president, our president, the FIFA president, his buddy, our president thinks it would be a good idea for the president of FIFA to be the new Secretary General of the UN, because that tracks. The Red Sea shipping crisis has intensified following the Houthi attack on 2 Saudi oil tankers. The president has vowed major military punishment for Iran, saying the U.S. will hold Tehran responsible for attacks carried out by the Houthi allies. Oil prices have climbed over $100 a barrel, reflecting mounting concern over disruptions to both the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, 2 of the world's most important energy shipping routes. Insurance costs and vessel rerouting continue to increase. No ceasefire or diplomatic breakthrough has occurred as of yet. Regional mediation efforts remain stalled, and there is no indication that either side is preparing to halt military operations. New satellite analysis indicates Iran is rebuilding military infrastructure more rapidly than many analysts expected. Recent imagery shows reconstruction at missile bases, ports, roads, and industrial facilities, despite months of U.S. and Israeli strikes, raising questions about the long-term effectiveness of the bombing campaign. Friends, don't forget, every day, the president, the assistant manager to the assistant manager of the Waffle House, Pete Kegsbreath, keep telling us that it's game over for the Iranian military. They told us last summer that the nuclear program was obliterated. Not true. They've been telling us from the beginning of the war that their military has been wiped out. That their navy's at the bottom of the Bering Strait, or the Bering Sea. Yeah, the Persian Gulf, that their missile batteries are done, et cetera, et cetera. They've been rebuilding faster and faster. It's because Iran has been prepared for this. They expected this at some point. They have been preparing for it. Hey, everybody. They've been preparing for it. So they're obviously mobile. They're obviously remote, which is why they've spent a lot of money on their drone technology and their drone infrastructure so that they can rebuild their drones quickly. It's getting really bad, and it's going to get worse. And Mr. Global's talked about the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. If that goes down, you think gas is expensive now? You think fertilizer is expensive now? You think the global economy will be flipped on its head now? Just wait. Yeah, again, so new satellite indicates that Iran is rebuilding their military infrastructure more rapidly than many analysts expected. Gas prices today topped out at $4.09. I would expect that number. It's been going up a couple of cents per day. It's like it was 4.06 yesterday, so I would imagine it would be 4.13, 4.14. You know, even putting motorcycle in my gas in my bike today, because there's one spot near my house that has non-eth, which is nice for an older motorcycle. By the way, it ran great today, in case you were wondering. Thanks for asking. I appreciate you. Yeah. Anyway, I always put the super non-eth in, and it was $5.39 a gallon. So yeah, kind of pricey, but gas is always on the expensive side up here. Vermont always averages above the national average. So anyway, just all that winning, all that you're right. Facts over feelings. You're absolutely right. It's because it was a little bit cooler today, and as you get older, the weather, needs to be on your side, said a 2006 Harley Davidson that's temperamental. I love her, but she's very temperamental. I have, you don't know, I have an attachment that this is how freaking dorky I am. I have an attachment that I made for my bike. It's just a piece of PVC, nothing fancy, with one end sealed up. And I made a couple of brackets so I can slide the PVC on the side of my bike and then put my fishing rod in it. Take the reel off, put the reel in my saddlebag, then I'm off. So that's what I did today. Took the bike, went to a fishing hole, fished for like an hour, caught nothing. Didn't even get a fucking nibble, but it was beautiful. I was out there by myself. It was freaking awesome. Then you walk back up out of the woods and your bike is sitting there, and then you get to go home on your bike. So it was a pretty good day. Find some time, joyous resistance, do whatever you need to do, whatever you can do to give yourself a half an hour, 5 minutes, whatever it is, because it's necessary, because we got a lot of fucking work to do. So obviously the situation in the Gulf, not great. The impact at home, not great. A lot of MAGA in denial over this. That's to be expected. Okay, so a couple of interesting things that I thought was really interesting is that the United States has withdrawn, the United States government, the DOJ, has withdrew their subpoenas that they issued to New York Times journalists. You remember the story? The story was that because there was information that was shared, leaked, however they acquired it, by New York Times journalists, as it relates to the Qatar Force One. The president was gifted the plane from the Qatari government. You know the story. Did not fly it back from the NATO summit because the Secret Service was concerned about security, concerned about threats against the president, and what they reported on was that apparently the new Air Force One was not up to snuff. Well, the Trump administration and the Department of Justice got a little pissy, so they decided to subpoena the journalists. A federal judge raised questions about the government's handling of the subpoenas, which the Times called an attempt to intimidate the free press. The Justice Department today withdrew the subpoenas that sought phone records and grand jury testimony from New York Times journalists who had reported on security capabilities of President Trump's new Qatari-donated Air Force One jet. The government acted after a federal judge grilled the Justice Department lawyers for nearly an hour over their handling of the subpoenas, which the Times had sought to quash. The news outlet called the subpoenas an effort to intimidate its reporters. You think? Judge Subramanian at a hearing in the U.S. District Court in Manhattan said the government was not prevented from subpoenaing the Times reporter again if it followed appropriate procedures. You mean they tried to shortcut something because the president's a petty ass bitch? I need to add that to my twice impeached, 4-time indicted, sexually abusing, fraudster, convicted felon, name on a list, predator, racist, pedophile, pussy ass bitch. Cool, got it. That would be the president of the United States that I'm referring to. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm Steve. Facts don't matter. I go live every Monday through Friday, 8 till noon. And then the evening I go live from 9 until whenever, every night. Fuck you. Thanks. Have a good day. The case was a high-profile instance of the Trump administration's efforts to escalate pressure on independent news organizations. The government issued the subpoenas, some of which were delivered by federal agents at reporters' homes, after Mr. Trump was angry by the Times disclosures about his new jet, which he had flown to Turkey this month and eagerly showed off. They said mean things about my jet. Shortly after the Times published its reporting, the White House instructed Kash Patel, well, anytime you instruct Kash Patel to do anything aside shotgun a beer, probably a losing battle. Anyway, shortly after the Times published its reporting, the White House instructed Kash Patel, the FBI director, to pursue leak investigations to unmask confidential sources who had provided information to the newspaper about a national security matter. On Thursday, the judge zeroed in on whether the government had heeded the law and its own regulations on investigations involving the news media. You mean the DOJ might have violated their own rules? Well, what do you know? That's funny. He said subpoenas to reporters are not the first thing you do. They are the last thing that you do. It's a matter of basic compliance with the law. Well, After Thursday's hearing, the Justice Department criticized the judge, saying in a statement that his, quote, conduct overrides clear, long-standing principles and common sense. Common sense is a term often thrown around because when I was debating the thumb earlier, I was giving him data, like CDC data, about how firearms are the number one cause of death for children between the ages of 1 and 18. The CDC, backed up by the New England Journal of Medicine, backed by Johns Hopkins, backed up by Yale Medical School. And of course, the thumb's argument, well, that's not common sense. I don't believe that because common sense tells me it's not nearly that high. So common sense. We're going to do an entire live on common sense. By the way, here's a little tease for you, okay? Yes, I'm going to tease you. Tomorrow, I have prepared the hardest quiz yet for you all on propaganda, disinformation, and misinformation. I spent a lot of time on this. It's hard. I went back and read the question myself. I'm like, man, that's a tough one. So bring your game clothes tomorrow morning when we do that for Free Speech Friday. All right? Cool. After Thursday's hearing, the DOJ said the judge's conduct overrides clear, long-standing principles and common sense. Quote, make no mistake, this investigation remains ongoing, said the JD, Justice Department, and we will pursue justice against those threatening national security by leaking classified information, a serious federal crime. Whatever. The White House did not respond to a request for comment. After the Times moved to block the subpoenas, the government asked the judge to delay their effect for 2 weeks so it could investigate further. But at today's hearing on the 23rd floor of the federal courthouse in Manhattan, it was quickly apparent that the judge was skeptical of the government's initial approach and request for delay. Within 10 minutes, he had laid out a stark choice to the Justice Department. Quote, either we can quash the subpoenas or you could withdraw the subpoenas. The judge told Sean Buckley, a top official in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, who was speaking on behalf of the government. The judge then grilled the prosecutors for a vast majority of the hour-long hearing, his demeanor at times resembling a teacher scolding his pupils. Oh, my God, to be a fly on the wall. Holy shit. He asked few questions of the Times' lawyer. At one point, he even apologized to one of them and promised time to respond to some of the government's statements. Under the judge's questioning, the government acknowledged factual errors in its filings. I want to pause there briefly. There's been a couple of instances here. I remember what was the name of the person that came in? Lindsay Halligan. I think it's Lindsay Halligan. She was appointed to be like an interim U.S. attorney for New York, and then she went to try to get a subpoena for James Comey to secure an indictment, and she fucked up the paperwork, and she filled it out entirely wrong. And then there was Alina Habba during the president's court case with E. Jean Carroll, or it was one of the cases, and they filled out the forms wrong. These are the people that are now part of our. Was it Lindsay Halligan? Was I right about that? Yeah. Anyway. Hang on a second. Oh my God. Hang on one second, guys. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Legend always working. So yeah, so again, what was the judge's statement? Under the judge's questioning, the government acknowledged factual errors in its filings. It conceded that it had omitted significant information, including that the case pertained to journalist records, when it asked a different federal judge to prevent a phone company from disclosing a record request. The inadvertent errors and the in hindsight, we should have done things differently. These things keep piling up, the judge said. Oh my goodness. Mr. Buckley argued that the nature of the Times' reporting on sensitive national security matters had allowed for an exception to standard procedures, but he struggled to identify the precise legal rationale for that exception when the judge pressed him. The judge then appeared especially troubled by the government's omission of relevant details from its request for the non-disclosure order from the other federal judge. Neither the Times nor the judge would have been aware of that request had the government not volunteered it days later. Fucking incompetent fucking morons. The prosecutor who handled the application, Kevin Sullivan, was seated in the gallery, but the judge asked that he walk to the front of the courtroom to explain the irregularities. It's like, you, sir, come to the front of the class. You, sir, you've been bad. I need you to put your gum in the garbage can. Stop writing on your desk. Stop talking in class. Not like I ever did any of those things, and walk to the front of the classroom so that I can shame you in front of the court. Fucking love that shit. Yeah, he asked Kevin Sullivan to walk to the front of the courtroom. Quote, "Are you going to do this again?" The judge said. No, Your Honor. Absolutely not, the prosecutor said. At the hearing, the judge asked the government to provide him with its private communications regarding the application for the non-disclosure order, a sign that the judge may not be finished with the matter. Mr. Buckley also acknowledged that the phone record subpoenas had inadvertently encompassed relatives of the Times reporters, including the mother of one of the spouses of two others, calling it an error and, quote, a consequence of trying to move quickly. All these little nuggets. When Todd Blanche, of course, told us recently that the Department of Justice does not investigate allegations, we don't do that. That's not what we do. We don't investigate allegations. Yeah, you heard that. We all heard that. We listened to it together. It came from his hearing. I've got the clip saved. Yeah, we don't investigate allegations. Okay, that's good to know. So then why are we trying to get subpoenas for something? Wouldn't that be an allegation that these people violated national security parameters, et cetera? So what's all the kerfuffle? Yes, I did actually just say kerfuffle. And in this case, well, this is a consequence of trying to move too quickly. So, friends, a little advice. All right, a little advice from your unc. When you're next time you're pulled over for speeding, just say to the judge, "I'm sorry, it's just a consequence of trying to move too quickly." I am so YT, Zoe. You're right. I am totally so YT. Sorry, Your Honor. I realize that this is my fourth arrest for speeding, but sorry, it's just a consequence of trying to move too quickly. When you get a reprimand at work for doing something, maybe you're a little bit careless, you can just say, you know what? It's a consequence of trying to move too quickly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. When when your children are, when there's no gas in your daughter's car, and she wonders why there's no gas in her car always, I would say, well, that's probably a consequence of trying to move too quickly. Just, okay. Yes, I'm petty, and I'll enjoy it. Thank you. Don't judge. After an hour of questioning on Thursday, prosecutors abruptly asked for a break so they could confer with the Times' lawyers. 10 minutes later, Mr. Buckley, who had left the courtroom after being scolded while the other lawyers huddled, returned and announced that the government would withdraw its subpoenas. You know, that's because it was a consequence of trying to move too quickly. Mr. Buckley, the Times praised the outcome of the hearing. Quote, today's proceeding was an important affirmation of our country's commitment to a free press, said David McGraw, the paper's top newsroom lawyer, said in a statement, we are pleased that the government finally conceded that the subpoenas violated the law, but they should never have been issued in the first place. As the hearing wound down, the judge asked a lawyer for the Times, David A. O'Neill of Debevoise and Plimpton, if he had anything to add. Mr. O'Neill said the government's conduct had been, quote, replete with bad faith and lamented a chilling effect that he said had affected the journalist's ability to report. We dispute any allegation of bad faith, Mr. Buckley said, and I'll just leave it at that. The judge opened his mouth as if to respond, then apparently thought better of it and just said, understood. Bang the gavel. Oh, my God. What am I looking at? Legend. Okay, I see it. Hang on one second. Wow. Okay. I'm going to read this. This is okay. A bit of breaking news. So this reported by The Guardian. The Pentagon list of service members killed in Iran war removes the four most recent. New York Times reports that the list of those killed changed from 18 on Wednesday to 14 on Thursday. The Pentagon's official online list of service members killed in the ongoing war does not include the 4 soldiers who died during renewed fighting over the weekend, despite the fact that their names were included in a Pentagon press release on the formal transfer of their remains back to the U.S. on Wednesday. A review of the current list on the Pentagon's Defense Casualty Analysis Systems website shows that, despite having just been updated on Wednesday, the number of U.S. military personnel killed during Operation Epic Fury, the Pentagon's name for the first U.S.-Israeli war on Iran that Trump launched on February, remains at 14. A separate names of fallen list on the same Pentagon casualty site currently includes just 13 service members. According to the New York Times, the Pentagon website listed 18 American service members as having been killed during the war on Iran on Wednesday, but was changed on Thursday to exclude 3 service members killed last Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, as Iran retaliated for new U.S. strikes with an attack on a base used by U.S. forces in Jordan. The list also excluded a 4th soldier who was killed during a controlled detonation of an Iranian drone at an airbase in Iraq. By Thursday, the Defense Department had lowered that number, reporting that 14 American troops had been killed in the war. 3 military officials told the Times that, quote, one reason behind the change was that the Trump administration decided to remove 4 service members killed this past weekend from the list because their deaths occurred after the president declared a ceasefire in April. What? What? A Pentagon spokesperson disputed that contention, telling the Times that the decreased total of service members killed was due to, quote, temporary data disruptions that would be quickly fixed. The Pentagon did not immediately return the Guardian's request for comment. The reported removal of recent service members killed from the Pentagon list comes one day after Trump traveled to Dover in Delaware to salute the remains of the 4 soldiers killed this past week, as he continues to demand credit for the number of people killed being so much lower than in the years-long conflicts like the U.S. wars in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan. On Wednesday, Trump posted a chart on his social media platform comparing the death toll of 18 in his war with those previous. He put a chart up on his social media platform comparing the death toll of 18 in his Iran war with those previous wars, which misstated the number of people killed in Iraq and Afghanistan with the caption, "These are real facts, report them." Man, oh man. Wow. Speaking to reporters on Thursday on his way to what Pentagon calls the dignified transfer of the killed service members' remains, Trump claimed that the dead soldiers had supported his claim that the war in Iran is necessary to prevent that nation from developing a nuke, an effort U.S. intelligence assessed Iran abandoned in 2003. Quote, "We're going to Dover," Trump said, "to honor our heroes. And they're indeed great heroes. All of them said very strongly that we can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon." So, just to understand, the president is alluding to the fact that he spoke to them, but now we are not recognizing their deaths? At an event on Thursday, Trump again argued that the death toll from his war in Iran was low compared to that of Vietnam, the war he did not serve in as a young man. Quote, "You know, we were in Vietnam for 20 years, lost thousands and hundreds of thousands of lives," Trump said, inflating the actual death toll among U.S. soldiers to 58,200. "We were in Afghanistan for years. We were in all these wars that you heard about for years and years," Trump said. "Well, we're in for 4 months, and I had a very sad day yesterday. I went to Dover for 4 great American patriots killed. That's 18, said the president. And 1 is too many, but it's 18. Whereas in Vietnam, we lost 200,000. I am so sorry. I don't even know what to say to veterans or to active duty. Gregory, bro, you must be seething. I don't even know what to say. We can't even. The party of veterans, the party of we support our vets, you're just going to dismiss 4 lives lost because it was after the ceasefire? What? They lowered the number killed in Jordan and northern Iraq, arguing that their deaths happened after the April ceasefire. Like, does that matter? Sorry, I'm trying to process that. Like, of all things, you couldn't, they couldn't just leave that alone. They couldn't just say, what? And he had a statement, not about this, but he had a statement on True Social.
Please let this statement serve to represent until further notice that from this point forth, any and all damages done to ships, cargo, or anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. These damages may be very substantial, but nevertheless, this is the fair and equitable thing to do. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT.
What the fuck, man? I'm sure there'll be more to that story tomorrow morning. We'll get into it. Crazy. Sorry, it just rattled me a little bit. I'm just trying to think about, of all the things we've heard them do, the despicable, horrible things, but this is something you think that they would. I know that they've shown little regard for active duty military and veterans in general. We know that. Yeah, we were just reporting on that. Well, speaking of that, the U.S. House today passed another war powers resolution directing Trump to end the Iranian conflict. Same for Republicans that joined Democrats again. The resolution, which follows a similar one in June, is largely symbolic as Democrats have few levers to force compliance. The U.S. House, for the second time, passed a war powers resolution directing Trump to withdraw U.S. military from the conflict with Iran amid renewed fighting that has driven oil prices to their highest levels in weeks and claimed 4 more American lives, but not according to the Pentagon. The resolution proposed by Democrat Pramila Jayapal passed by a 214 to 208 vote, largely along party lines. The same 4 Republicans who had helped pass a nearly identical resolution in June: Tom Barrett of Michigan, Warren Davidson of Ohio, Thomas Massie of Kentucky, and Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, joined with all Democrats in attendance to vote in favor. The war powers resolution passed last month was later approved by the Senate in a significant bipartisan rebuke of President's decision to join Israel in attacking Iran in February and sparking a regional conflict that opinion polls have consistently shown is unpopular with the U.S. public. Quote, "This is not a partisan issue," Jayapal said following the vote. "Vast majorities of Americans of all parties believe that this is an unconstitutional, illegal war that needs to stop. It was not authorized by Congress. It has cost us incredibly the lives of 18 service members, millions who have been displaced, and thousands who have been injured." Later on Thursday, the Senate rejected a similar resolution proposed by Democrat Chris Van Hollen, 47 to 49. Again, a vote largely along party lines. The House's measure passage is nonetheless largely symbolic, as the Trump administration has argued war powers resolutions are unconstitutional, and Democrats' minority status in the House and Senate leaves them with few options to force compliance. Doesn't matter whether it's symbolic or not. This is what we've been asking for from Democrats, to kind of stand up a little bit. We can have an objective conversation about the war powers resolution, because a lot of presidents have claimed it's unconstitutional. So it's one of these things, right? It's one of these things that we probably have to address. Like, is it or is it not unconstitutional? And the only way to determine that would be to put it in front of the Supreme Court. Ultimately, they're going to have to decide if Congress has this power and whether or not the president has to abide by it as commander-in-chief. So we can have that. I think that's a legitimate, objective conversation that we can potentially have. In debate ahead of the vote, top Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Greg Meeks, accused the president of violating the law. Quote, "Let me be clear. This body has already spoken. The war powers resolution passed with bipartisan support in the House and the Senate. The Trump administration was required to end its hostilities against Iran. It has not," Meeks said. "We are now at 5 months." The resolution's passage nonetheless underscores the continued ability of Democrats to seize on divisions among House Republicans, as well as their narrow majority in the chamber, to embarrass the president. Massey's libertarian politics have brought him into conflict with Trump, and he lost his primary in May after Trump endorsed his opponent. Davidson harbors similar beliefs, while Barrett and Fitzpatrick represent swing districts and are top targets in November's midterm elections. Everybody has a reason to do what they did. Thomas Massey's the only one who's like, fuck you. I'm not going to support this bullshit. The other ones are like, well, we don't want to lose our cushy expense account and our awesome pension and our quality health care. Oh, and by the way, they're talking about putting in rules where we can't have sex with our staffers, but I don't want to lose that option if it's still available. And then there's the cocaine parties that happen all over DC and everything else. God, I better do something that's going to let me look better in the mind of voters come November. I'm kidding, but not really. The resolution passage offered a contrast to the day prior, when the House advanced both a $95 billion budget blueprint that will chiefly be spent on military needs related to the Iran war and a $1.15 trillion defense spending bill. But we can't have health care, and we can't forgive student loan debt, and we can't fund SNAP, and we can't perhaps consider raising the federal minimum wage. Nothing to see here. It's totally fine. I'm going to pin this swan. There's 3 swans that we need. If anybody is feeling swanny, I would appreciate that, because that would take out that gallery item. I appreciate you all. The former is facing major delays in the Senate, while the latter is set to see major revisions since it requires Democratic votes to pass, and Johnson allowed the insertion of strict new regulations on voters that minority parties refuse to support. Fighting has meanwhile continued in the Middle East, with Iran attacking U.S. military bases around the region in recent days amid retaliatory American airstrikes. The Tehran-aligned Houthis in Yemen have also threatened to halt Saudi oil shipments through the Red Sea and announced on Thursday they had attacked 2 tankers, which drove crude prices upwards. So, there is just no spine for any member of the Republican Party, with the exception of very, very, very few. Mick Putt-Putt, I saw that. Thank you for the Red Sox history. I appreciate you, bro. Yes, the hometown team finally lost a game last night, 15 in a row. And I was kind of like, I was so sad about them because I wanted to continue. But anyway, they gave me my summer back, and I appreciate them for that. And I appreciate them for that. My point is, thank you. Thank you, Pat. I appreciate you very much. I don't know where this goes, because as we've discussed before, there's the president, the right thing to do, the responsible thing to do, the grown-up thing to do would be to pull the troops out and call it a day. Say whatever you want, say whatever you want to say, do whatever you need to do, but there is no justification anymore. None. They continue to say that they've obliterated this, they've destroyed that, they've decimated this, and yet here we sit. And and then the entire push, of course, was that we don't want Iran to have nukes. Okay, that's fine. I understand that. Then why would the United States and Saudi Arabia agree to a civil nuclear cooperation agreement? Section 123 under the U.S. Atomic Energy Act is one of the most significant changes to the U.S. non-proliferation policy in years. According to the Department of Energy and reporting from Reuters and AP, the U.S. will cooperate with Saudi Arabia on developing a civilian nuclear program. Saudi Arabia would be able to purchase U.S. nuclear technology and potentially reactors, including those made by companies such as Westinghouse. The agreement could permit Saudi Arabia to enrich uranium domestically rather than requiring all nuclear fuel to come from abroad. This is the most controversial aspect of the agreement. Okay? Ironically enough, they are asked to keep their enrichment between 3 and 5%, which fuels civilian nuclear reactors. And by the way, this might come up on Debate Talk tonight. By the way, that's what the JCPOA had. And by the way, Iran was honoring that. Having enrichment capability does not mean Saudi Arabia is building a bomb. So then having enrichment capability does not mean Iran is building a bomb, right? Shouldn't we just use that same argument? Now, we're already hearing it from the right, of course, because they don't know what to do now. Now they're like, well, Saudi's our ally. Are they? Are they really our ally? Do we want to be allied with someone who kills New York Times journalist Jamal Khashoggi? Do we really want to be allied with somebody like that? Are they really our ally? Are they really our ally? Really? What happens if someday they're not? And then they have access to our uranium deposits, etc. Right? Is that how we're going to roll now? All right. Making sure. For decades, the U.S. generally encouraged partners to adopt what's known as the, quote, gold standard, an agreement in which countries voluntarily forego uranium enrichment and spent fuel processing. The best known example of this is the 2009 U.S.-UAE nuclear agreement. According to Reuters and AP, the Saudi agreement does not require Saudi Arabia to permanently renounce enrichment. Well, what does it have them do then? Marking a notable departure from that earlier approach. What safeguards are included? A bilateral safeguards agreement which requires the IAEA to do oversight. I swear you cannot make this fucking shit up. I swear. Like, you cannot make this shit up. JCPOA required enrichment not to be above 3.7% or between 3 and 5%. And that the IAEA was going to be the regulatory body providing oversight. And Trump pulled us out of that deal for whatever reason. Then they went on and enriched. Then we were told that they were enriching, although apparently, according to this, having enrichment capability does not mean that Saudi Arabia is building a bomb. So then having enrichment capability does not mean that Iran was building a bomb either, right? That's what that would tell us, isn't it? Okay. However, one major criticism is that Saudi Arabia is not required to adopt the IAEA protocol. Iran was. They were required to do that as part of the JCPOA, so what the fuck is this? That gives inspectors broader authority to conduct inspections and detect undeclared nuclear activities. Many arms control experts view the additional protocol as an important verification tool, so much so that it was in the JCPOA. Shocker. So why then did the Trump administration support it? Keep Saudi Arabia aligned with the U.S. rather than China or Russia. Okay. Strengthens the U.S.-Saudi strategic partnership. Okay. Creates opportunities for American nuclear companies. Oh. Got it. And then, of course, helps Saudi Arabia diversify its energy mix away from oil. Opponents argue the agreement could weaken long-standing U.S. non-proliferation standards, encourage other Middle Eastern countries to seek enrichment capabilities, increase the risk of a regional nuclear competition, particularly given the Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman's previous statement that Saudi Arabia would seek nuclear weapons if Iran obtained one. What happens next? The agreement has been transmitted to Congress for review under the Atomic Energy Act. Congress has a statutory review period. It can attempt to block the agreement, but under current law, doing so would generally require enough votes to overcome a presidential veto if the president supports the deal. So let me get this straight. According to the administration, they believe it's going to strengthen the U.S.-Saudi strategic partnership. So Russia, if you're listening, apparently the United States can just go ahead and offer our nuclear technology in violation of any, NPA, the NPT, the Non-Proliferation Treaty. So there might be people in your orbit, Russia, that has inquired about obtaining a nuke. According to the United States, feel free. Feel free. And you know what? Don't even worry about the IAEA because they don't have to abide by that. And, in case you're interested in strengthening your relationship with said country, then the United States would agree. Because that's our MO too, apparently. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the absolute fuck? What the fuck? Hello. Whoop. Okay. And you left. I didn't mean to scare you off, Jen. I'm sorry. She's working. She might have had to jump. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? Oh, she's back. What are we doing? Good morning.
Oh man, sorry about that.
I said good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Listen, I just wanted to say that I had to not listen to what you were saying. Like I had to purposefully turn you off because I was so angry.
I figured that. I figured many would. I figured many would.
I don't know if everybody knows me. Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm a military mom. My son just got back from deployment a week ago. So, it's on the camera. Sorry, I'm at work. Every single day I worried about the life of my son. Every single day I worried that I'd get a knock on the door. Every single day I worried when I picked up the phone. So by not saying the names of those who've fallen means their life didn't matter. And here's what I want to say to your chat. I want everybody to go and look in your coins and throw gifts to Steve, because for him to keep his cool while telling that story is utterly amazing, because Steve cares so much. And Steve is such he's an empath for him to have kept the cool the way he did was utterly incredible. He puts in a lot of work into this show, and for breaking news like that, I don't know how you did it, Steve. Honestly, I really, really don't.
Thank the mods. They found, they found it. They shared. Gregory shared the story, so I just read it. But thank you for saying that.
This truly shows that Trump and his entire administration doesn't give two shits about military. This is just a game. These are just pawns on a chessboard.
Yeah.
And it's anybody who continues to support this is just as disgusting. Honestly. So anyways,
Would agree.
yeah. So anyways, if we could get people to, really support Steve and the work that he does, I would truly appreciate it. I know Steve will really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lady Blue. That's awesome.
And just
Thank you
keep,
so much. Wow. Thank you
keep
very
doing
much.
what you're doing,
Appreciate you.
tapping, sharing out the live. We really appreciate you. And Steve, we really appreciate you.
Appreciate you saying that, Jen. Back at you.
I know your job sometimes is really hard giving this news and keeping your cool, but you're doing a great job.
I lost my cool a little bit earlier with the thumb. I don't like doing that. So people who saw that, I don't like it when I get angry like that because I don't do anger. But I thank you, Jen. I appreciate you saying that. Thanks a lot.
The thumb? What did I miss?
It was interesting. Yeah, this gentleman basically said that the 2,900 deaths of children, which is the #1 cause of death for children in America, no big deal when you compare it to the 4 million abortions every year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
And you probably kept your cool pretty much.
Up until that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yep. Up until the.
All right,
up
you
until
guys,
that
keep
point.
tapping the live. Finish out that gift goal, and we appreciate you guys for being here. And we are so excited about debate night tonight.
We'll see how it goes in just a few minutes, actually. But thank you, Jen, for everything. I appreciate you, friend.
Okay.
I love you. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. I don't go into those conversations thinking I can necessarily change someone's mind. We've had a lot of success here. Let me rephrase. I oftentimes go into conversations hoping I can at least provide, some opposition to the echo chambers that many of them live in, to say, you can have, like the conversation we had today with somebody, right? We discussed women's reproductive health care. And I want to make this point very, very clear. I generally try to not discuss something if I don't represent that community, which I think is the right thing to do. Also, I want men in particular, especially those of us who claim to be accomplices, to not be afraid to have that conversation about women's rights to their body. That part, right? Like I'm not going to get into the. I don't debate pregnancy topics, but I will certainly debate that topic. And I would encourage men to not be afraid to have that conversation with people who are saying that women in your life should not have rights to their body. Because it's not about that. It's about those weak ass warm fucking mayonnaise, paint chip eating fucks who just want to control women. So don't be afraid, fellas, to have that conversation. If you feel uncomfortable and you feel like you need representation, then please, 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 please do it. Please do it. And women, if the men in your life are not willing to have that conversation, but they want to be there to support you, I think that's okay too. That's just from my perspective. That maybe sound like a very privileged take, but I just, there's a fine line there for me. I always try to have representation in conversations, but something like that, especially when I'm going to be out on the road talking to people, I could be by myself. It could be just me and the dog and our producer and whatever else. I may not have an accomplice. It may just be me, and I will gladly carry that flame, so to speak. So there you go. There's my pitch. Okay. I think what we're going to, well, you know what? I'm going to bring, I saw Sarah. I think Sarah was in the guest box first. Cindy, I see you. I'll bring you up in a second. When am I coming to California? Well, actually, I'll be in California likely twice. I will be in California. Oh, goodness. Less than a month from today, when I drop off the daughter at college. Yes, that's really happening. By the way, the daughter right now is in Southern Vermont shooting a movie. she's on the production team, which is it just kind of fell in her lap last minute. She's down there doing that, which is fucking awesome. I'll be in California the week. What's the week I'm going to be out there? I don't even remember. The 17th to the 22nd. Be making some content. Got a couple things planned when we're out there. And then I might be going back again. So let me give you a little inside baseball on the way that our brains work when it comes to the Do Something Tour. We've got 1,000 things that are happening behind the scenes. And we've not shared all of it only because we're trying to nail down as much as we can. We've given you little bits here and there. We spoke to a documentary filmmaker the other day, by the way, who's very interested in our story. We talk about all kinds of things, what it would take to pitch it to Netflix, and how he reminded us of all these things that you need. And then he gave us validation to say, you guys are doing a fucking amazing thing, and he wants to be a part of it. So there's that. I have a potentially controversial interview coming up on Monday with Chad Bianco, who ran for governor in California. We've not yet figured out the technology for me to be able to do it live. So we're definitely going to do it via Zoom, and then I'll just replay the content. We've talked about working. We've got a lot of people that are on the ground across the country that have offered to help us hook us up with events. It's, events here, events there. Got relationships with some people who used to work on some big time political campaigns nationwide. So, it's becoming this thing, and it's got me super excited, really fucking nervous because I don't want to let anybody down, but I cannot wait to be out there. So we're really working on like the last week of September through to Election Day, and I'll be in DC for a week, a couple days before and a couple days after Election Day. And I will, if I have to pack a lunch in my juice box and my goldfish and sit outside the doors of Speaker Johnson's office, then I will until they drag me away. So yes, and thank you for all your support. And if you do want to support us, I'll use this as a plug now. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all those donations go to support the Do Something Tour. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna mention this. We're actually going to be putting together an items list of things that we're looking for. For example, if people have, you might have hotel points that you may not feel like you're going to use between now and September or December, or airline points, things like that. We're just trying to use the community as much as we can to try to put as many pieces together, because there's going to be, imagine it this way. Here's the vision. We're at an event someplace, and then our team gets a phone call, or we get a message and say, hey, there's this really cool event that's happening tomorrow in Walla Walla. And we'll be like, okay, well, we've got this airline voucher. We can hop on a plane. We can fly to Walla Walla. We can do an event. We can fly back. That kind of stuff. So we're going to put together a list. Michelle and Jen, remind me to share that with you, because that kind of popped into my head just now, actually. And we're going to post it in the link tree. And then as we go through, if there's things that people can contribute, fantastic. Appreciate you all very, 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 very much. Okay. I see Sinjay. I'm going to bring her up because I know that Sinjay had a chance to talk to the thumb. You were, by the way, you were so calm. You were so calm. I was too. I'm sort of glad you didn't see my crash out, because I don't normally do that, but he really got to me.
He actually said at some point after that he wanted to call you to apologize.
No, he wanted me.
He was so desperate.
He wanted me.
No, he said, he wanted to apologize to you at some point. Like, it was really weird. He was completely off the rails. Like, he just wanted you to come back so bad. Like, it was really weird.
Very,
He
very.
was just like calling you out.
Well, friends,
come back.
you want to know the funniest part to me? We know our friend Sinjay is from, she's the Queen of Denmark. We know that. So this person, this creator, was telling Sinjay that she was wrong about her own country.
Oh my God. First he said that we had presidential elections.
I know.
And then after
I know.
I was like, no, we don't, Prime Minister. Oh, who cares? And then he's like, yeah, and now it's not the same. Like, you had elections and now it's not the same. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Yes, it's exactly the same. Exactly. And then there was about how I don't believe that you per capita had the most deaths in support of our endeavors in Afghanistan and Iraq, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, he's special. We've got to know him as the thumb.
I totally get it.
Yep.
It's weird, but it was just a room full of even conservatives who were very I'm not with this guy. There was a bit of conservatives that came in and were like, this is not me. Like he is not representing me. So
I know, right? He was something.
I'm happy. Like if that was my first impression of Americans, I'm very happy I know others. Because that would be really freaking scary.
Yeah, it is. It's so funny because you were all like, you were Sinjay, all chill, all chill, and you're like,
Put on the calmest voice.
yeah, I'm like, sir, people might be willing to have a conversation with you if you weren't so aggressive. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm not being aggressive.
It just kept on going.
I know.
Oh
I know,
God.
I
And he
know.
called me back up and he was like, yeah, we had this Danish lady here earlier. Like I would have loved to have conversations with her, but she just couldn't. She didn't want to be here. She just left. And I was like, I'm here. I came up and we just had another. And he was like, oh, I never said that. I didn't want you up. Like you just come here into my life. Take the space. Like, okay, sorry.
I know. I mean, he's just literally wrong. At one point, he said the Roe v. Wade allowed women in New York to abort their children a year after they were born. I shit you not. He actually said that.
What the fuck? Oh my God. But it's so very important with the toxic creators like him that are so blatantly, because there's also people who listen to him and like think that he's good. And you have to be like, it's good that somebody comes in sometimes and be like, this is reality. Like what he's representing is not reality. Right.
Like the message that I sent you in Discord, I'm like, it's kind of like watching a car accident. Like you can't look away.
100%. I felt that way. I was there for way too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
For my mental health,
Yeah.
But it was a good time. And it was like, yeah. But now I do actually have to sleep really bad because it's 4 a.m.
Do
here. So
thank you for coming. Good to see you again. Thank you for swinging by as always.
Good to see
I
you.
appreciate you.
Yeah, have a great debate night.
Thank you. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you know. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. I generally don't like to talk about creators, but this guy is he's just fucking pathetic. But anyway, welcome to debate night. Talk about a nice, simple segue from one segment to another. I have no idea how this is going to go, but if you're in the box and you want to debate, we can talk about anything. Anything that's on your mind. I would ask a couple of things. We'll go back to the original rules. If you make a claim, you have to back it up, and we don't answer questions with questions. And then a new rule would be if you're going to come up here and just drop slurs and say horrible things, then I'm just going to kick you out. I want to debate politics. I want to talk about issues that affect all of us. We can talk about the Iran war. We can talk about the economy. We can talk about why I feel like we need to have Medicare for all, universal health care, why we need to invest in education. I'm not going to pineapple on pizza. Well, Tom, you're done. If you are, wait a second. Hold on. That's an issue. Actually, that's not an issue. Y'all who like pineapple on pizza, you're all fucking nuts. I love you, but you're all nuts. It's the texture thing for me, I realized. It's the texture thing for me. See, okay. You see what I mean? It's already started. It's already started. So for those of you, okay, I'm going to remember that. I'm watching here. I'm watching those of you who fall into the nuts category about liking pineapple on pizza. You're going to get extra specially hard questions tomorrow on our quiz. Okay? You want a teaser question for? No, should I do that? Do I want to give you a? No, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to make you wait. That's called a tease in the business, friends. You got to come back tomorrow for the tease. All right? Pineapple on pizza. Amber, I love you, but man, I don't know. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm paring down my friends list apparently. All right, whatever. All right, let's jump in. Everybody keep tapping, please. Frosty Nugs, how are you? Frosty Nugs? Frosty Nugs. I guess not. Have I tried it? Tried what, Sharon? Pineapple on pizza? Yeah, I've tried it. That's why I can't stand it. No, I don't even like chicken on pizza. I like pizza on pizza. I don't like flavor in my coffee, and I don't like flavor in my beer. I like coffee and beer. I don't need the extras. I like, as far as I will go, pizza, you can give me pepperoni, sausage, and green pepper. That's about it. Beyond that, I just like the purity of it. I don't need all the shit. Somebody said boring. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Southern Conservative 1. You gonna jump in, have a chat with me? Everybody, put out your feelers. We need fuck Joe Biden in the chat. We need a whole bunch of shit. Oh, it's my buddy. Good evening,
What's
sir.
up, friend Steve?
How are you?
Man, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. You got your Antifa shirt yet and your George Soros subscription package?
No,
Not yet?
no, no. I've been catching hate because I said that I wasn't going to vote in the midterms. So
That we're gonna change your
I'll-
mind. We're gonna change your mind right now.
yeah, well, there's nobody in my state worth voting for. So
That's not the point,
That-
though. Remember, John? Remember we talked about this, though. Remember we talked about this. It's not about that.
I know.
So what's it
I
about?
know, but my view of government still hasn't changed. I think it's ass, and it always will be.
I get it.
So
We've dissected
Huh?
we've dissected your view before. So I'm going to tell folks a little story. So John, I've got to know John. John's respectful. He allows me up in his panel, and he's been respectful. We've had good conversations. John's gone through some stuff in his personal life, and he knows. I won't get into that now. He knows that if you ever need help, you know where to find me. That offer still stands. Okay. We had John.
Yes, sir.
John agreed to do this. John took. First of all, it's brave as hell. So give John some props for this. He agreed to take the political compass test in real time during his live, and it came back as John is a leftist. We always knew, based on your beliefs, based on the conversations that I was having with you, we all knew. Everybody knew. Myself, Jenna, we all knew. And sure enough, and then as we started to have more conversations, you're like, you know what? Maybe I am a little bit more liberal than I am, because you believe you don't agree with abortion. You don't have to, but you don't believe the government should be telling women what to do with their bodies. You think that
that's exactly
you
right.
think corporations are worse than the government, even though you don't like the government. We can have that conversation. That's fine. All that kind of shit. So now we're at this point, though. The next step for you, I'm not asking you to suddenly register as a Democrat. That's not my desire. My desire is for you to vote. And the reason that I want you to vote is because of harm reduction. Because you've got some makeup work to do. So I'm the teacher now, and you got to stay after class because you were bad. You got caught smoking on the playground, and now you got to stay after class. And your assignment, not banging erasers. By the way, so John and I are probably old enough. Most of you all probably never had to bang erasers. I did. Shocker, you'd be surprised.
I did.
Shocker, you'd be surprised because I could never keep my mouth shut in class. I know that surprises all of you. I'm sure it does. So this is your lesson. Instead of banging erasers, John, I need you to vote for a Democrat. The reason is we have to stop what Trump's doing. And you not voting does not help that.
Well, I absolutely believe that the Democrats will probably take the House. I think that Senate is a little bit tougher fight.
Maybe.
I'm not saying that they can't do it, but I'm saying it's a tougher hill. But I'm absolutely for a do nothing government. So if Democrats take one or both houses, that means that basically we get a do nothing government for 2.5 years, and that's better for the people.
Is it do nothing, John, or is it we have to stop a madman from doing what he's doing? So is that
absolutely.
Is that really do nothing though?
Well, when I say do nothing, that means that they're not going to pass legislation that's going to hurt the people. That's what I'm talking about. As far as what Trump is doing right now, I mean, I'm all for slowing down or stopping what he's doing, especially with ICE and some of the other nonsensical bullshit that he's got going on. And you and I have talked about this. If I'd have known, if I'd had known that all of this was going to happen, I sure as hell wouldn't have voted the way that I did. So I probably would have sat it out.
Well, we knew. It's unfortunate that you didn't know, but we knew, John. We knew. Lots of people. Knew.
That guy was running on a smaller government, and he hasn't delivered that. And I'm all for a smaller government.
Right. So
So
we've had this conversation too. But he didn't operate under a smaller government the first time. So why would you think he would do it this time?
well, I mean, I was hoping. I mean, for real, I was really hoping that we would end up shrinking the size of government, and basically oppressing the people, and it just hasn't happened.
Right.
So
Okay. So I'm glad when you have somebody on your team who's known as Newshound, that's always a good thing to do. So Newshound asked the appropriate question. Mass deportations alone screams big government, John. And you knew that he
yeah,
wanted
well,
that he ran on mass deportations, right?
yeah, I knew that he wanted people who were not vetted that were allowed into the country. He wanted them expelled out of the country.
That's not the point,
Now,
though. That's not the point I'm
you
making. Hold on a second. That's not the point I'm making. That is massively big government. That is the epitome of government tyranny. ICE agents walking around masked. Could there really? I mean,
yeah,
I'll ask you
well,
objectively. Could there be anything that's bigger government than that?
no, I don't think so. And you and I have actually had this conversation before,
Yeah.
and you know that I'm not a fan of what he's doing with ICE in their pursuit to complete their mission.
Correct.
Snatching people up is not okay, not in any realm. Um, and you've heard me say this before. Immigrants have actually saved almost $16 trillion in the last 25 years in deficit spending.
Yeah.
So
You see, friends.
they
You see.
they
You
are
see
a
why John's a
positive.
leftist. You see why John's a leftist. You see what I mean? Yes, you're right. You're right.
So I'm not against immigration, but I also believe that we have the right to know who's in our country.
Sure.
And I think both things can be true at the same time.
Agreed.
And I don't believe when our government says, "Oh, well, we vetted all of these people that were allowed into the country," because there were thousands of them let into the country a day. And anyone that has met our government knows that that claim was just BS. There's no way that our government vetted all of these people, because a lot of these countries that they come from, they don't even keep good records on people.
Okay,
So
I don't want to go down that road because I don't think I don't think we get anywhere. Because
no,
because we do vet, because we do have processes, because what you're saying about some of the other countries is just not true, and I'd rather not debate that. I'd rather move forward. What I am asking you for is really, really simple, right? You voted for Trump. There has to be you've reached this situation in your life now where you realize that perhaps your views have remained the same, but our country has shifted further right. Because the things that you believe in are not what MAGA runs on. Like you believe in a woman's right to her body. You believe in things like that. You
yes.
believe that we should have a better healthcare system, Medicare for all. You believe that we should be funding public education. That's not what people in your party believes, John. So what I am asking you
Well,
let me just I'll lay my plane. What I'm asking you for this election and this election alone, if we can get you to vote in the next one, I am just asking you, in your case, if you have to cover your eyes or plug your nose, to vote for the Democrats, to vote for, you're in North Carolina, correct?
right.
Vote for Roy Cooper and vote for whomever your congressional rep is that's a Democrat that's running. I don't think that's a
Yeah,
lot to
but the
ask. I don't think that's a lot to ask, considering that you voted for Trump.
yeah, but the thing of it is like Roy Cooper has done a lot of things that I don't agree with, and in my opinion, damn near destroyed North Carolina.
But he didn't.
So
But he didn't, though,
I would
John.
definitely have to hold my breath.
Okay, then do it. Then do it.
I, I mean, I can't stand the guy.
Who's the option? Who's the Republican running?
God, if you had to ask me, I could have told you, but I don't like him either. So,
Okay, so
um,
a lot of people are saying that he's great. I mean, a lot of people that voted for him really like his policies. So can I get you right now publicly to admit that you can do this for this election? Keep in mind the epiphany that you have, the epiphany that you've realized about your political views align much more with people who you thought you disagreed with, right? So I'm
well,
asking you.
you're asking me to vote for Roy Cooper.
I am.
I don't, man, I love you, Steve, but I don't know that
It's
that is a bridge that
why
I would
why
definitely
so
have to fucking climb
why, John? Why is that such a bridge?
because of the
Why?
things that the guy did.
Like what? Tell me what he did.
So okay, so during C-19, I almost had to quit my job because he tried to make it mandatory, and if the Supreme Court here in North Carolina hadn't have shot him down, I would have had to go either get the jab or quit my job. And I was ready to quit my job because the company that I work for subcontracted for the state. So he arbitrarily just came out and said, if you do any work for the state, you have to have the COVID jab. And I was like, no,
Okay.
not going to do that.
Okay, but let's talk about that
That's
first.
number one.
I got it. Okay, I get it. I get it. Can we agree that this was a once in a lifetime situation that every congressional body, every business, every agency had to address, had to do what they thought was best? So do you think that Roy Cooper was being malicious, that he was out to harm people? Or do you think he tried to make a decision that he thought was going to benefit the majority of the people in your state? What do you think?
Well, I don't know what was on his mind other than it was a power thing to what it seemed like to me. What really got me with C-19 was when they came out with it, they were immediately shielded from prosecution or lawsuits.
Okay, let me go
So-
back. I want to be careful about going too far down that road because that can get the live in trouble.
Right.
I want to back
Right,
up,
right.
I want to back up a second, and I want to ask you the question that I just asked you. Do you really believe? And you're a smart guy, John, and I want this is where I want you to break the mold that you have in your head. Deconstructing is difficult, but I'm asking you to think about this. Do you really think that the governor of your state was out to harm people when he made a decision about how to respond to a once in a lifetime pandemic?
I think that he was listening to people that didn't know what they were talking about.
Like the science?
Well, I mean, because a lot of the claims that they made just weren't true. So,
Oh,
I mean, yes, it did harm a lot of people. I will give it that. It
intentionally.
harmed a lot of people.
Intentionally. Did he do it to
Do I
intentionally?
think that he intentionally did it? No.
Okay, so then why hold on to that, John? We all, so you know science, right? We know that the process has changed. The virus mutated. The initial about 6 feet, everything changed. That's what science is, man. We deal with what we have in front of us, and we make the best decisions we can possible. So if you're going to hold on to something that you felt negatively impacted you, you didn't necessarily blame Roy Cooper. Like we both agreed that he didn't go out there to intentionally harm people. So then why can't you just vote for him? Why can't you just vote for him?
Well, there was some other things that happened too. That wasn't all of it. That was number one.
Okay.
That was number one on the hit parade. The two was the sheriff at the time in Wake County
Was the sheriff
decided
elected?
upon himself.
Was the sheriff elected?
But yes, he was elected.
Okay.
But what he decided during C-19 is that he was not going to process any pew-pew permits
Okay. That's
during
the sheriff.
C-19.
That's the sheriff. That's not
right.
Roy Cooper.
And Roy Cooper stood beside him and backed him up.
Okay,
Again, the North Carolina Supreme Court
John,
had to step in.
this is all about C-19 for you. Okay, that's
Well,
bro.
the
Hold on,
part
hold
of
on,
it
wait,
is,
wait,
yeah.
hold on. That's 6 years ago now, man. 6 years ago.
Right.
This is almost like Trump holding on to the 2020 election. Okay, that's what this is like.
Well,
So you've got to put this in the rearview mirror. A lot has happened in your life. Some good, some really, really bad. A lot has happened. A lot has happened with all of us in 6 years. 6 years ago, I had curly blonde hair. I'm kidding. I did not. I'm saying to you that that's 6 years ago, man. Like the chat just said, let it go, bro. Let it go. Let it go. I know you well enough to know that you know deep down inside that the governor of your state did the best that he could with the information that he had. Did he make mistakes? I'm sure he did. We make mistakes all day, every day. What I am asking you for, though, is you got to make up for your vote for Trump, because your vote for Trump really harmed people. And Trump is intentionally harming people. So I'm just asking you, it's two little boxes to check. It's Roy Cooper for governor, and what congressional district do you live in? Do you know? Who's your rep? Who's your rep for Congress?
I think it's the fourth congressional district or something like that.
Who's your rep?
I don't even remember, but I live in Alamance County, so
Okay, I don't know where that is.
I'm not sure what congressional district that
Okay,
is. So.
no matter who it is, what I am genuinely asking you for, John, is a makeup vote. You've got to. There's only so much you can do. It's great to hold lives. It's great to come to a reckoning that perhaps you've, you're realizing that you are much more liberal than you thought, and you are. I just need you to put 6 years ago in the rearview mirror and let it fucking go. Because Roy Cooper is going to be better, as a member of the Senate, is going to be better for your children than any Republican. Because if the Republicans maintain control of the Senate, John, you're going to get two conservative Supreme Court justices that are younger than Samuel Alito and younger than Clarence Thomas, and they're going to continue to strip rights away from people. Do you want to be on that side of history? Or do you want to say, you know what? I swallowed my pride. I voted for Roy Cooper because it was the right thing to do.
Well, I definitely am for reduction of government harm. That's for sure. I think that the government has proved that they're out to harm us every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
You're wrong about that too. You're wrong about that. You've got the script in your head,
How
man.
am I wrong,
because
Steve?
Because you've got a script in your head that everything the government does is bad. You've got a script in your head.
It is.
It's not. So do you think I'm smart?
I do.
Okay. Do you? So if I don't agree with that, do you think my sentiments are based in feelings or in reality?
I think. I think that you can make an argument that government has done some good things.
Sure, it has.
But mostly it's been all bad.
Well, that's a very general statement, John. So passing civil rights legislation is bad?
No.
Okay.
I mean, look, there are some, I said before, there are some things that government has done that are good, but the majority of what the government has done to the people is horrible.
Like what?
Okay. So basically the government lies to us every freaking day.
Those are feelings.
I mean, every time they open their mouth, it's a lie.
Stop. Those are feelings. Okay, those are
no, that's a fact.
Those are not facts, John. Those are feelings. So for you to come up here and say everybody in government lies to us every single day, those are feelings. You said the government is doing things that are harming people. I'm going to press you on this. Tell me, give me an example of. No, I don't want your feelings. I'm not interested. I gave you specifics about the things that they've done to help us. Civil Rights Act, legislation to protect seniors, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security programs, infrastructure investments, CHIPS and Science Act, the American Rescue Plan. These are all things that have helped the overwhelming majority of Americans. It happens every day. Those are specific examples. Those are not my feelings. I am asking you to please step out of your feelings and start talking about things that you truly believe government has done to harm you.
Okay, well, one right off the top of my head, $40 trillion in debt.
Okay. So
how does that benefit the people of this country?
Because we have to spend money. But first of all, the debt is bullshit because we're going to continue to do it every single year. I get why you're angry about it. I totally understand. I get it. I understand. That is a continuation, though, when you invest, when you're giving tax breaks to the billionaire class, when you continue to fund the military-industrial complex, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's the only party in modern history to reduce the deficit?
Oh, that would be Democrats.
That's
because
correct.
Bill Clinton actually had a surplus. He was the last president that we had that actually had a surplus.
That is correct as well.
So, and the other thing is that the two sides of government, the Democrats and the Republicans, from the 60s to the 90s, well, not really the 60s, I would say the 70s to the 90s, they actually worked together to get things done. Now, we would rather just call each other names. Pocket Lint has a better approval rating than Congress.
It does.
With,
Okay, you're moving off.
so
You're moving off the subject, though.
no, I'm basically making the point that our government is inept. They don't have our best interests at heart. And the other fact that I can give you is
Again, those are
name me a
feelings.
job where you
Feelings.
can.
Those are feelings.
Okay,
again.
well, Steve, name me a job that you can go into that you're dead broke and in debt, like tens of thousands of dollars, and in 10 years you're worth tens of millions of dollars.
And what's the only party that has introduced legislation to ban insider trading and to get rid of Citizens United?
I will agree with that. I
So
will
then-
agree
okay,
that
so
Democrats
stop.
have done that.
Okay, so stop right there for a second. You keep casting aspersions on the government, and everything that you have brought up, we can lay right at the feet of conservatives and Republicans. So your argument is not the system. Your argument is the entire system. And I don't disagree that we've got a lot of structural changes that we need to make in Congress. Term limits, getting money out of politics, reconsider how we do lobbying, consider adding DC as a state, making sure we have more justices on the Supreme Court. Do we want to get rid of the Electoral College? All these are kinds of things that we can talk about. But you're criticizing things that have come from your party. The party of small government is not small government. The party of individual rights and freedoms is not individual rights and freedoms. So my argument is stop trying to cast a wide net to say the entire government is the problem. It's your party that you've been a part of that's the problem. It has been for 50 years. John, I've been watching this shit. We can watch since Reagan. We can watch the wealth gap get wider and wider. We can watch the middle class shrink. We can look at deregulating and what it's done to the environment, what it's done to the banking industry, what it's done to the auto industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the adults in the room are always the Democrats. They come in, and I'm critical of the Democratic Party. You know that. I always do that. I'm very critical of them. I look at the Democratic Party as public transportation. They're going to get me 3/4 of the way to where I want to go, and I am willing to walk the rest of the way because that's how important it is to me. So again, unions, support of laborers, that doesn't come from the right, man. That comes from the left. As broken and as fractured as the Democrats can be, they're the only party of the two major parties we have right now that's even giving the middle class a fighting chance. So please stop with this both sides nonsense, John, because it's just not true. It's just not true because your option is this. Your option is to not vote and then put Republicans back in power, and then corporations can fuck us even more than they already have.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Roy Cooper's way ahead in the polls. So it looks like he's going to...
I want you to vote for him.
It looks like he's going to win.
I don't care. I want you to vote for him.
We'll see.
John, what's the worst thing that can happen if you vote for him? Tell me, what's the worst thing? You've already been through the worst.
I have to live with myself.
Bro, you went through the worst thing a family can go through recently. Nothing is as bad as nothing will even nothing. Everything pales in comparison to that. I am asking you to simply vote for someone who's honest, who's ethical, who made decisions obviously that you disagreed with, and I'm sure that a lot of people disagreed with. But he wasn't out to harm you intentionally. I'm asking you to just step out of the bubble that you're in, bro. That's all I'm asking for. Just this election. You don't have to tell anybody. You can tell your friends you voted for the Republican. I am just asking you, because I've spent a lot of time talking about this shit. I'm asking you to vote for Roy Cooper and to vote for the Democrat that you have. I want a big majority in the House so we can take some of this shit back, man. Then you could look back on this and be like, you know what? I was part of something. You know, that wacky psycho nut commie from Vermont convinced me. And what's the big deal? What is the big deal? It's one vote. Vote for Roy Cooper. Vote for the Democrat. You don't have to vote for a Democrat again in your life. I don't care. This election, though, we have got to stop this fascist train. Because right now, man, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse if they remain in power. You know that.
Polymarket has it where the Democrats will, like, there are 87% probability to take the House.
Don't care. I want you to vote for them.
So divided government is great for us.
Don't care. I want you to vote for
them. It's great
them.
for the people.
Yeah, I don't care. I want you to vote for the Democrat. I don't care. I want you to walk in or mail in your ballot. I want you to think, you know what? My vote right now is going to decide the control of Congress. That's what I want you thinking about. In fact, that's what I want everybody thinking about. Your vote is going to decide who holds power in the House and in the Senate. That's what I'm asking you for. Please, John, I'm asking you to do that. I know you can do it. I know you want to do it. Don't let your pride get in the way. Don't be stubborn. Just do it, man. Just do it.
Well, we'll see. It's a long time between now and then. Something could change.
And I'm going to bug you,
So-
and I'm going to bug you every fucking day if I have to. That's how important it is to me. Please.
Yeah, but you know how I feel about the government. I just don't like it.
I don't care.
See a use for it.
I don't care. John,
So-
I don't care. I do not care. Because your family and your friends of yours and neighbors may need the government. And I hope and I want a strong social safety net to be there for you if necessary. I want your children and grandchildren to have access to a public education that's the best in the world. I want people to be able to afford to buy homes. I don't want people going into bankruptcy because they don't have health care. That's what the government can do. I just need you to get that script out of your head, man. Just get it out. They're not the big, bad, evil fucking government that's coming for your shit. The right people, giving the appropriate amount of power, can do good things. As somebody who served in government can do good things, can do big things. We can do big things in this country. We have to stop thinking like we can't. We're the United States of fucking America. I always was told when I was growing up that we can do anything. So let's act like it. Let's fucking act like it. Get over the script in your head, man. Just get over it. 6 years ago, get over it. The Republican is not going to make your life better. The Democrat might. Isn't it worth a shot? Isn't that worth a shot?
We'll see, Steve. We'll
All right,
see.
John.
I'm really hoping that the Democrats take the House because I'm really looking forward to a do nothing government.
Then don't you want to be part of that?
To be part of a do nothing government?
No.
Hell yeah.
Well, then vote for it.
Because if you look at it, if the Democrats take the House, which they're a high probability to do, which I'm all for, because I'm for divided government where they can't harm us. So you don't get any legislation passed, and basically Trump sits down for 2.5 years until the next election.
Then vote for that, John. Vote for that. If that's what you want, if you want a do-nothing government, in your words, not mine, if you wanted to, then vote for it, man. Vote for it. That's your message.
Well,
I'm going to vote today. I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. I'm not going to vote for a down-ballot Democrat or an independent or progressive. I'm going to vote for a do-nothing government. And by voting for Democrats, that's what I'm going to get.
Yeah, I'm for do nothing government in perpetuity.
Okay.
So,
then vote for Democrats this election. Right?
Like it's like what, 100 days less?
Stop being
away?
stop being so stubborn, man. Just stop being so stubborn.
Well, I'm just saying. We'll see what happens. But voting for Roy Cooper is going to be a hard pill to swallow.
No, it's not. That's just
I
stubbornness.
cannot stand that guy.
I don't care. Other people do, and he's going to make your life and your family's life better. I can guarantee that. Let it go, man. Let it go. Just let the ego go. Let your pride go. Just let it go. You don't have to tell anybody. I won't even broadcast it. You don't have to tell anybody. You can go silent. You can go, you just do it. Just do it. You know full well, John, that your life would be better right now if you had voted for Kamala Harris. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. We all know it. We all know it. Don't make the same mistake again. Please. Don't make the same mistake again. This is a makeup vote. You've got to make up for the mistake that you made voting for Trump. And this is how you do it.
Yeah, it was definitely a mistake.
Then make up for it.
So,
Then make up for it. Okay?
yeah, because I'm not a fan of the shit that he's doing.
Then make up for it.
If he would shut the fuck up and do his job like he's supposed to do his job, then we'd probably be okay.
Well,
this nonsense that he's got going on is not making this country okay.
Aside from the fact that he's a P3EO and he's a rapist and he's a convicted felon, he's a pathological liar and he's a serial adulterer. I mean, aside from all those things.
Right. And you add that into it with it. So, I mean,
So I just need you to vote, man. Please vote for Roy Cooper and please vote for the Democrat. I'm gonna be bugging you about this shit, man. So I'm gonna be like RFK's brain worm. Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
Thanks for jumping in tonight. Good to talk to you. My best to your family. Okay.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Steve.
Later, bro. We're getting there. If you are in the box and you are a friendly, if I could ask you to drop out, we're having issues with the box again tonight. Jen, can you make a comment in the chat? I don't know why you have you don't have mod powers. Michelle, do you? You should have mod powers. They should be in there. I don't know why nothing changed unless the setting got screwed up. Yeah, POTUS is also a pussy ass bitch. That's true. Okay. All right. So if you are in the guest box and you are a friendly, if I could ask that you please drop out. I don't know everybody who's in here, but I see Coach Gene. I don't know if you are friendly or not, but I'll bring you up. Thank you for those. Coach Gene, how are you tonight? Coach Gene, are you there? Coach Gene? Okay. Once again, friends, if you're in the box and you didn't mean to be in the box, you can check your status. If you just look at the bottom of the screen, you see the pink and blue person down here, or teal. I'm a little colorblind, those colors. I think it's like light blue. The pink and light blue person down here. If it's gray for you, that means you're in the guest box. And if you didn't mean to be in there, please just drop out. If it's pink and blue for you, then you're not in the guest box. Therefore, you can jump in and request. At this point, I think everybody in there is a friendly. I don't know everybody's name, so I'll try to go through.
Como si estuviéramos en el...
AG22, how are you tonight? Hello? I guess not. Okay. Spent a lot of time talking with our friend John. I think there's hope for him. It's really important, and we'll use this as an opportunity for other folks that are in here listening. At this point, I don't care about your excuses. I don't. I don't care about the big bad government. I don't care about that. I just don't. I just don't care. Like there's been too much damage done. There's been too much harm. I get it, John. I get it. It's a long way away, but the more time you start thinking about it now, and I would ask you to look at the policy positions from your Republican candidate, right? It's just stubbornness, bro. It's just stubbornness. That's all it is. We can be stubborn. I can be stubborn, but there's a line, right? There's a line. It's just your makeup vote. I got to make up for it. Like if, it's old school shit. Like I used to always feel like, if the universe is watching, like I'm not a religious man, but I believe in karma. And I believe the energy you put out in the universe is what you get back. Ultimately, it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes nice guys do finish last. We know that's to be true. I'm not whining or complaining, but it certainly does happen. I don't care. I do it anyway. So if you generally believe in sending out good karma, then your job now, because of the bad karma connected to your vote for Trump, that's how you balance shit out. That might sound super hippy dippy Vermont shit, but I've lived by it and I always will. So. All right, friends, I think we're gonna have to clear the guest box mods. Would you guys mind clearing out the guest box? I don't know who's in there. Jay, I see you in there, bro. I'm not really trying to do panel debates tonight. Just want to have conversations. Dusting off the debate chops. And then if you want to request back up, if you are a Trump voter, a Republican, a conservative, a libertarian, an independent, a non-voter, a communist, a Marxist, whatever that might be, I just want to make sure you're voting. And I always have questions about whether or not people are still in MAGA. Like, are you still MAGA at this point? Are you really still MAGA at this point? I don't know who this is. Okay, you're the only person left in the box. It's okay, Jay. No problem, bro. That's so April. How are you? That's so April. How are you tonight? Are you there?
No. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I pushed by mistake. I was trying to like and I pushed by mistake. Sorry.
It's no problem. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, John, I know that you were never MAGA, but you voted for Trump. So at this point, they're one and the same. You have to wear that badge, that anchor around you. You have no choice. You have to do that. You have to accept that. That's part of it. You can't just disassociate. You voted for him. You're one of the 77 million people responsible for putting him in power again after everything we knew. You can't separate. Nice try, but you can't. You have to own that. And in owning that, now is your opportunity to make up for it. And again, all I heard was stubbornness. No reason, just feelings. Just feelings. Stop feeling that way. Please. That's all I'm asking. Own your shit. Beach guy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Ben?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
I'm just gonna say this. I appreciate everything that you do. The way, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I voted for Trump in 2016 because I was blindsided.
Yeah.
And I'll admit, 2016, I thought it was gonna be. Oh, I went and I voted because I thought because all my friends were. I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, maybe this guy will change. Maybe this guy will do something. And I'm like, 2017. I see he's yapping and he's lying. I'm taking notes as well. And middle of 2018, I'm still taking notes, still thinking about what he's saying, which are lies as well. And then middle of 2018, going into 19, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, man, I fucked up. I fucked up even when I fell for when Trump was saying, I'm gonna build the wall. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And it's like, man, I fucked up.
Yeah. What'd you do in 2020?
I voted for Biden in 2020.
Okay. What'd you do in 2024?
2024, it was a toss-up between going back to 2016. I was like, am I gonna vote for Trump?
Hold on a second.
Which was a hard net.
Okay, hold on a second. After everything you just told us about how you realized that you fucked up between 2016 and 2020, you actually considered voting for him again?
No, I was weighing it out. That's
what considering is.
Okay, well, I was weighing it out. Like,
what is there to weigh out,
Trump,
sir?
Because I really didn't know what Harris was going to. I didn't even know she had anything going for her though.
Did you bother reading any of her policies?
I took in consideration by saying to myself, I'm going to sit down and I was going to think about it.
That's not the question. So this is an opportunity for men to learn something here. Did you read her policies? Yes or no?
I read partial.
Did you read her policies? Yes or no?
I said I read partial.
Tell me about one of her policies then.
The housing policy.
What was it?
She was going to have housing which was affordable for everybody.
Well, more specifically though, see, bro, I don't think you read her policies. Okay. I think you might have heard sound bites, somebody talking about them. This is why I mentioned men, because men have a hard time realizing that they might have gotten called out on something and they just can't be honest. Like, if you read her policies, then I said, yeah, I read them, or I didn't. Say I didn't, because I don't think you did. So let's just be honest. Let's just level set. You didn't read her policies. We know you didn't. So let's talk about the decision that you were considering voting for Trump again after everything else. If you had read Kamala Harris's policies, if you had read them, then you could honestly make a decision to say, man, her policies look pretty good, because they are. To be honest, Kamala Harris's policies weren't progressive. They were very status quo, middle of the road Democrat, a couple of progressive leaning policies, but pretty much the Biden administration with a couple of tweaks. By the way, a Biden administration that was very successful. Some of the most significant legislation passed in 50 years. If you had actually read her policies, then there would not have been a consideration. So what did you end up doing in 2024?
In 2024, I decided I wasn't going to vote for Trump. So you assumed I did, which I never did at all.
No, I didn't.
So
I didn't assume that. You just said you were considering it. I'm asking who you voted for.
well, I didn't vote for Trump.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Harris. 'Cause
Okay.
I wanted to give America a chance to have a woman as president, which I wanted change. So
Okay. Jen, by the way, you do have mod access. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. So then you voted for Harris, which was the right thing to do. You were actually considering voting for Trump again after everything.
it was a thought. It was a thought.
Okay. Okay.
I-
So what
I
are you
thought-
okay? So what are you going to do in the midterms?
I tell you this, I'm definitely not voting for Trump this time.
Well, you can't. He won't be on the ballot. So what are you going to do in November?
I'm gonna vote for a Democrat,
What state do you live in?
Virginia.
Virginia. Who's running? What congressional district?
I'm in the Richmond area, so
So who's your
I'm in the Richmond.
who's your rep? Who's your House rep in Congress? Bro, you got to know
I'm
this
not
shit.
even sure.
You got to know
I'm
this
not even
shit.
sure off the top of my head.
You got to know this shit. No excuse.
I'm not even sure off the top of my head.
Okay, you got to know. You got to know this shit. So you're going to vote for a Democrat, and then is there a senator in your state that's running for reelection? I don't know if that's even true. I'm not sure about that, but can you just please vote for the Democrat? Do you want to know why? I think it's important.
Tell me why.
Do you think Trump's a madman and a fucking lunatic?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to have a hope to try to stop him from all this bullshit?
Yeah.
The
I
only way to-
mean, I definitely want to.
Okay. The
I
only,
mean, I definitely want to see the war being over. I'm tired of Trump saying, just like he said today, there were 19 U.S. soldiers that were unalived, which were
18.
now 15.
Yeah, 18
15?
18 down to 14. Yeah, that's real nice.
Yeah, 18 to 15 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
my father served in the military. My uncle, his father. So I got 3 generations that were in the military. So it's like that. It's just like, fuck this shit.
thank you, Tiff. So Mark Warner is running for reelection. He's a Democrat in your state. Vote for him. Okay.
Mark Warner.
Mark Warner, long-serving member of the Senate,
What are-
smart man, really good person. I want
What is
I want to peel
what
back.
is his stand?
I want to peel back big picture for a second, okay? We can talk about policy and dissect it all we want, but the reason that the Senate is so important, he's a good senator. The reason the Senate is so important is because of the Supreme Court. Now, if the Republicans maintain power in the Senate, you're going to get 2 younger Supreme Court justices, younger than Clarence Thomas and younger than Samuel Alito, and they will likely be members of the Supreme Court for the next 35 years. Do we want that? You want Donald Trump?
Nope.
You want Donald Trump putting 5 of 9 Supreme Court justices on the Supreme Court?
Not in my eyes. Nope.
So then that's a reason to vote for Mark Warner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you need to figure out who your who your rep is to Congress, and you need to vote for the Democrat. If it could be an incumbent, it likely is. If it's from Richmond, it's probably a populated area. It's probably a Democrat already. Continue to vote for
Yeah.
them. Can you do that?
I'll say this. I'm gonna weigh it out, but I am definitely gonna vote for Democrat.
Good.
If
So-
if like I know me and you are friends on TikTok,
Mhm.
but I'm willing to do like one-on-one if you can. One-on-one, that way it's not online or anything like that,
Sure.
because I think it's like the whole chat they're getting on me, like
They're not. They're just no, they're not. They're
you're-
not. They're just trying to push
you're
you.
not being true.
They're trying to push you, man. Ignore the chat. Just ignore it. I'll pay attention to them. It's all good. They're just trying to push you. That's all we're trying to do. We're just trying to push people a little bit. That's all.
I'm being honest with you, man.
I'm not saying you weren't. I'm not making that. I'm not making an accusation. I'm just asking you to stop thinking about the past and start thinking about the future. The arguments that I made with our previous guest about how, and I'm not a big, I'm a leftist. I criticize both parties. I'm progressive politically, but I'm a leftist. I can honestly criticize the Democrats for a variety of reasons. But I also know, with 3 children, a daughter who's a 2-time cancer survivor, heard news about student loan debt today. It's going to make it even more hard for people who are going to need access to student loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for people like me who I've got their best interest in mind. That's what you're supposed to, that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm asking you to do the same. Do you have kids?
I mean, I'm 33.
Okay.
I'm single. I got no kids. I'm like, I don't plan on having any kids. I'm like,
then vote for other people.
Because my parents call me every other month. They're like, hey, are you gonna have kids? I'm like, no, not in this world. Fuck this.
Just vote for other people, man. Just vote for other people for a change. Vote for somebody else. If you need to imagine a picture, like I said, my daughter's a 2-time cancer survivor. And I want to say this. I hope this resonates. And I've heard the chat's heard this story before, but I can tell it quickly. My daughter's had a relatively rare form of cancer, and the cancer treatment that she got, the research program that she got, came through universities who were funded by the federal government for pediatric cancer specifically. Okay, the Trump administration had cut funding for a lot of those programs. My daughter got a 50-50 shot at survival the second time with all that money for research. Imagine if she didn't. Imagine if she didn't.
A lot of money would be coming out of your pocket.
No, she would have likely died because that grant money, the research. So her treatment program was developed through federal funding for research grants. That's how she got the treatment program. Not just my kid, but lots of children around the country who have relatively rare forms of cancer rely on the research that's done primarily on college campuses and laboratories. And this administration cut so much of that funding, man. Isn't that a reason to vote to say, you know what? I don't know Steve. I don't know his daughter. I'm not asking you to believe me. It's anecdotal, sure. But that story is not unique to me. That affects thousands of families across the country every single day. I am just asking you to vote for the Democrat to stop this fucking madness. That's it. That is the epitome of harm reduction. The epitome of harm reduction.
I'll be honest with you. I don't hate anybody. I don't wish hate on anybody or whatever. You know what? Yeah, hey, you just changed me tonight. I'm just like, I just got to do more research, and I'm willing to talk to you offline.
Feel free, message me.
I'm willing to. You know what? Hey, I don't know if you're following me because I'm following you, but I don't know if you're following back or whatever.
I just did.
But I'll drop you my number and we can do a FaceTime.
I'll gladly do that. Join our Discord. We can talk that way. Happy to do it.
I don't do Discord. I'll do a FaceTime or WhatsApp or face to face.
We can figure that out. So just message me through TikTok and we can talk. Okay.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Appreciate you.
I will admit. I will admit. Yeah, you did help me change with that story. And then the other thing that irritates the hell out of me is when babies are being born with cancer, and it's like, it's sad.
Yeah,
it's sad.
It's horrible.
It's sad.
And we need health care.
It's sad because because I work at a restaurant. I work a restaurant in the morning, and I have another restaurant that I work at night. And in the midday I go to VCU, and I go to VCU because I'm a volunteer. I I coddle babies. I hold them like in the NICU unit
That's
because
great, man. What an awesome
I
thing to
hold
do.
them.
What an awesome
I
thing to
hold
do.
them. I hold them, and I'm like, it's sad. This one baby that I held. It was last Friday. They said they had 3 days left, and he had 3 days. He had 3 days left, and he was gonna pass or whatever. So me and my girlfriend, we went up there. I held him, and I was like, "I'm sorry that you got to go through this. It was sad." I held the baby. The baby passed in my arms, and I was just sad. I was in tears. I was in tears. My girlfriend was in tears, and I said, "Why did he have to pass? Why do you have to pass?" And my and I'm still like, it's not my baby, and it's someone else's. I was just like,
Well,
sad.
I appreciate you doing those kinds of things. I wish more people did. But lots of questions about that, but we can talk about that offline. But I appreciate you listening tonight, at
course,
least.
man.
And then, like I said, message me through TikTok, and let's see if we can have a conversation. Okay.
Oh, of course, man. Hey, I'm sorry for
all
going
good.
off track.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah, man.
Like I said, just message me on TikTok, and we can figure out a way to talk offline. Okay.
Of course, man.
Thank you,
I appreciate
Beach Guy. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Be safe out there. Thank you, Hector Raid. Thank you, Hector Raiders. Appreciate you guys. All right. Louise, I should say. Everybody keep tapping, please. If we can take out those gift codes, that'd be fantastic. I appreciate that. Thank you, Hector Raiders. W's for Hector Raiders. Louise, are you there? I guess not. Okay. Gaudy, how are you tonight?
It was a mistake, man.
Oh, good.
I was tapping the screen.
No problem. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Listen, I get passionate about this shit. I'm just, we're past this point of fucking excuses. We're past it. I don't, at this point, I don't care what you did, 10 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago. I don't care. I care about November. I care about the fact that there are 14 million families in this country that are living with food insecurity, including 5.5 million children. I care that rural hospitals are being closed because of the One Big Beautiful Bill. I care about families that are struggling to make ends meet. 60% of American families live paycheck to paycheck. I think the number is even higher than that. They're living less than paycheck to paycheck. We're seeing medical bankruptcies increase. We're seeing people credit card debt never been higher. Those are the things that matter to me and that should matter to everybody. So as we approach November, I don't care that you might have an issue with the Democrats. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I have plenty of issues with the Democratic Party. We all do. But you'll notice that you're starting to see a little bit of movement. The fact that 103 Democrats voted against funding Israel was fucking huge. The last time they had that vote, I think it was like 30. That's massive. There's a change afoot because we've been talking about this stuff. We've been putting pressure on them. We've been saying, we can have nice things. We can have nice things. Rambo, you're chirping. Can you just come up so we can talk, bro? It's all right. You can see how the conversations go. Should the government pay our bills? Depends what the bill is. Please just get in the box, Rambo. I don't bite. I only nibble. I promise. And it won't hurt. You actually might like it. Most people do. Although I wouldn't know. But seriously, we've got, thank you, me Raiders. It's just, there's so much to do. And the problem with MAGA is that you guys are just obsessed with these culture wars. Don't be. We can debate politics, and you're not going to do well defending your party, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So Rambo, can you please come up and talk? I promise I won't treat you rudely unless you treat me. Rambo, bro, come on up. We pay taxes. The government has an obligation. That's correct. That's right. Would you rather continue to pay monies to corporations so they can rip you off, Rambo? Or would you rather have our tax dollars go to better things? Because Rambo, I know that you believe that democratic socialism is the answer for a brighter future. I just don't think you want to admit it. But I'd be happy to talk to you about it because I agree. We could find common ground there. We have no reason to be afraid of the commies, the commie caucus, as the members of the Republican leadership now call it, the commie caucus. Are you afraid of the communists too, Rambo, like your party is? Or do you believe that we can have nice things? Because I believe we can have nice things. But that's just me. All right. I can open up for some friendlies if some friendlies want to come up and talk a little bit. I'm going to invite Rambo one more time, see if I can get him to come up. Come on, Rambo. You can do it. Rambo, 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 Rambo isn't available to join as a guest. Okay. That's fine. No problem. Good evening, my friend. How are you?
Hello, Steve. Thank you so much for having me. I withdrew my petition earlier and was the first one on the button
It's all
when you
good.
said I could come up.
It's all good. What's on your mind?
John's on my mind. John's on my mind. The thing that he kept saying that just really was making my skin crawl and my butt itch was, I can't stand Roy Cooper. I can't stand Roy Cooper. I want to know, John, anybody else who's John-minded in the chat, how many people do you think Black folks and other minority groups in this country have actually liked to vote for?
It's a great point.
Black folks don't do you think that John Lewis and Jesse Jackson, Martin Luther King, do you think that they liked that white man in the White House that was running that they had to vote for? Do you think that they thought that by voting this one time, everything was going to get fixed? Do you think that they thought they'd see what they were fighting for come to fruition? Or did they know in their hearts, in their souls, that this was the only way the country as a whole was going to move forward? What did Dr. King see? Because, they all love to quote Dr. King, right? What did he say? I might not get there with you. I might not get there with you. He knew he may not see the progress that he was fighting for, but he wasn't fighting just for himself, John. He was fighting for the betterment of a people. He was fighting for the betterment of a country that he knew was not living up to its promise. And he knew it was worth it, even if he didn't get to see it. So get your head out of your ass, John. Stop being selfish.
Deconstruction is tough, for sure. I'm glad I don't have to deconstruct. Although, yeah, I deconstruct from the patriarchy and misogyny every day. Any man that says they're not is lying, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we can't, as I've been on your panels numerous times, and we talked that one night about not who you stand with, but what you stand for. We've got to stop everything from. This is what I've noticed, and I'm sure you probably noticed this as well, Stacey. By the way, friends, if you don't follow Stacey, please do. We see this constant excuse making in an attempt to justify one's vote. Well, both sides are corrupt. Two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin. I hate that shit. We have to start identifying, we have to start really, and we do this all the time, we start really hammering home what harm reduction is and what it means. That may not be resonating enough because people look at that as like, so I'm supposed to throw my vote away just because of harm reduction? We're like, yeah, yeah, sure, but it's almost the makeup vote. Like I don't know about you, Stacey, but
It is.
I believe in the karmic balance of the universe, the yin and the yang, the good and the
100%.
bad, right? So the bad was Trump. You got to make it up. You can
Uh-huh.
make that up by a vote
Make
for
it
harm
up.
reduction. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
So I wanted to ask John one other thing, and I wrote it in the chat, and somebody said, "Oh, he's not ready for that conversation." So, John, if Roy Cooper had an opportunity to fix what he had broken or right what he had wrong personally against you, and he just chose not to, how would you feel about that?
Good point.
If he, as damaged and as wronged as you feel you are in your spirit against Roy Cooper, if he had a chance to make it right, wouldn't you want him to? Even if it didn't work out, wouldn't you appreciate that? Just think about it. All right, friend. Thank
Fabulous
you
point.
so much.
I appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in tonight,
Appreciate you.
and have a great rest of your weekend and lovely weekend. See you later.
Thank you.
All right,
You
bye.
too, Steve. Bye.
Such a great point. Once again, say it every day. Can we just fucking listen to black women, please? My God, would make our lives so much better. That's the next evolution for other people on this app who've been voting blindly, especially white men. The next conversation or the next reckoning for you all is to go into spaces hosted by black women in particular. I can give you a list and just sit there and listen. Just listen. You don't need to center yourself. You don't need to request. You just need to sit there and listen. Because as I've been told, if the lives of black women is better, then guess what? Everybody's life is going to be better. No doubt about it. All right. Do I have anybody else that's in the box? It's 11 o'clock. What should we do? Should we call it? Do this often? I will, Dano. I mean, I know you do. I know you do this often. I've got another request. Bearded Cat Dad, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Steve?
I'm fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So I've talked to you a couple times before.
Mhm.
So my family is highly MAGA. But my mom texted me the other day, and she told me, "All right, you convinced me. I'm voting Democrat."
Really?
Really? Yep. And plus, now she was laid off from her job last year. She was 62, and she decided to retire early. I met her. So then she got into this thing. I don't want to discuss what it actually is, but it's an expensive monthly pill.
You keep cutting out, bro. Are you? Can you get to a better Wi-Fi?
Her now
You keep cutting.
Cover California.
Bearded, you keep cutting out, bro.
$500 a month.
You keep cutting out.
Injection plus the insurance. That for a year.
I can't hear you, man. You keep cutting out. Can you request again? We couldn't hear you, brother, because you were breaking up. Can you just request again, and I can bring you back up? I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Okay? Please just request again, and I'll bring you right back up. I would say your name, but that device is right next to me. Okay, so it would go off. Okay, hopefully that's better. You just kept cutting out. We couldn't hear you.
Can you hear better now?
I can hear you better now. Yes.
All right. So yeah, my mother, she like I said, her monthly bill for the new medication and plus the insurance for Cover California is about $2,500 a month. And she has to be on that for a year before that bill gets cut in half if she's on the maintenance drugs. And at that point, I don't like bring up politics with her. I've mentioned this in the past. So I'm like, well, doesn't it make you mad that your home country, Germany, has better options than we do. And she's like, yeah, I know. And so, but I think what finally did her in the other day was Trump did an EO on, and her CEO, the one that laid her off, was in his office signing a damn document with him. And that pissed her off so much. That's when she texted me, all right, I'm done with this guy.
Yeah, that'll stick. Sometimes it takes something as bad as that to make it happen, but that's unfortunate that your mom had to go through that. So what's she going to do?
Yeah.
Is she going to vote? Is she going to vote Democrat in the midterm?
I think she is, even though she's like me. I've talked to you about who, I think it was Gunny. I've talked to you about who's running for House.
Yeah.
As a Republican, he's a big time animal guy. He's a director or on the board of directors for our local zoo. He runs a low cost neutering and spay clinic in Fresno.
That's cool.
But he's running as a Republican.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. That's the problem these days. Is when
it hurts.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You get because this Republican Party has shown no desire whatsoever to go against Trump. Right.
Right.
So,
and I told him if he ran for mayor, I vote for him in a heartbeat, but because he's done a lot for our community. But if he runs if he wins for the House, he's just gonna be a Trump puppet.
Exactly.
So nothing to get done. So
who's the Democrat running against him? Do you know?
The incumbent's Jim Costa, which he's not great. He's kind of a stick in the mud.
But better.
He's kind of
Right.
But yeah, exactly.
But better. Harm reduction, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So then we can count on you to vote in the midterms. We can count on do we need to spend some time with mom? Does mom have TikTok? Can mom join you one night? We can have that conversation.
No, she's anti-social media.
Okay.
She doesn't have anything.
That's fine. I get it.
So, but
tell her I send her a shirt. Tell her I'll send her some merch if I can get her to vote.
Will do.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, bro. Have a good night. Take care. We were discussing the other night with some friends about the new line of spicy merch items. But we're spicy facts merch, but we're not going to do that just yet. Not yet. Not yet. Gotti.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm a friendly.
Yeah.
Love watching you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Got a quick question.
Sure.
I'm wondering if I've missed something in the political race somehow. Are we no longer capable of taking the Senate in the midterms?
Oh no! I mean, the Senate odds keep shifting a little bit. A lot of it's going to depend on Maine. The clearest path would be to flip that seat for sure. So we'll see. I mean, there's states that I've been watching. There are states that I've been watching that not a lot of other people are. Like I keep my eyes on Alaska, and I keep my eyes on Ohio. Like most people are talking about North Carolina, about Maine, about Texas, and there's one other. It's escaping me now, and Iowa. And Iowa comes up a lot. But I keep talking about Alaska and Ohio. Nebraska a little bit too. So yeah, I still think there's a strong likelihood, but people have to vote. I mean, it's still an uphill fight. It's still going to be, as sad as it is, Texas, due respect, it's still going to be difficult. I don't even know why that race will be close. But as Hector's informed me, it is a voter suppression state, not a lack of registration state. So to answer your question,
yes,
there's still a strong possibility that the Democrats can flip both the House and the Senate, but people have to show up.
Okay, cool. I was away on vacation for a couple of days and didn't get to see any news, so I was afraid I missed something.
Not yet.
Thanks for catching me up, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Have a good night. Thanks for being here.
You too.
Yeah,
But
I honestly feel. Let me just do this real quick. I'm getting scolded by my team. That's fine. I don't mind it. I don't mind a scolding. Oh, we'll do that because I have to take my flowers. So we'll do that. Fine. Let me just check in over here real quick on a couple of things. I want to make sure I don't miss a couple of donations that came through. Hang on a second. Multitasking. I can do more than one thing at once. More than two things at once. What is the quote? Yeah. Ignore me. It's been a long day. And don't forget, tomorrow it's quiz time. Join us tomorrow morning. Want to thank you to Lori. Lori said, for Do Something, we love the new show because we get to listen together. Thank you again, Steve. If you make it to Albuquerque, we'll take you out for a burrito. Thank you so much. You gonna bribe me with food? That will work every fucking time. No doubt about it, especially Tex-Mex, especially New Mexico Tex-Mex, because it's some fucking good shit there. And also over here, thank you to Rainey. Thank you so much. You're so great. I really appreciate your continued support. Great job with John. Let's hope he votes. Thank you, Rainey. That was very, 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 very kind of you. Appreciate you very much. Let me update this. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate you all. So that's 227. All right, math in my head. We're getting there, friends. Making great progress, and we couldn't do this without all of you. So I really appreciate you all. All right, I guess I can bring a few more friendlies up. I'm kind of wired now. I don't know if I can go. If anybody wants to come up in the box and just talk, we can. No problem. Happy to do it. Jump on in. Rainey, thank you. Love you back. Appreciate you very much. All right. We'll probably go to 11:30. Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's a late night today.
It is, and then back at it tomorrow. I have to. The clone is in the closet recharging, so I have to bring him out tomorrow morning. He can be
Okay,
he
perfect.
can be
We're using that.
yeah, he can be cranky in the morning, but that's
Okay.
fine. He'll get over it.
No worries. We do what we can.
We do.
How are you? How
g-
is it going? I didn't come here to talk about anything specific, but to see how you're doing. How are
Very
you
sweet.
doing with this new schedule? How are you doing with handling 2 different shows with the different themes of the shows? How are you doing with integrating whatever the fuck is happening in our world right now?
I appreciate you asking. It's different for sure. I'm getting used to it. I like this. When I first started doing lives, it used to be from 6 until 9 in the evening, way back when. So it's nice. I like the format. I think the debate night thing, we'll see how it goes. We're not going to do this every night. We're going to do it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. But then the That's a Wrap show, I like it because I don't have to do a ton of show prep. I do hours of show prep for our shows every day.
Yeah.
So it's something that I take really seriously. It's important to me. I know it's important to our audience, so it matters. So the evening time is just a chance to decompress a little bit. I don't sleep very much anyway, so why not do something productive?
What can you do? I'm very big on mental health, especially men's mental health. What can you do? I know that you said that you don't sleep much. And I
never
get it.
sleep.
I also have really bad insomnia.
Yeah.
But in general, like, what do you think helps you at night instead of stressing? Like, as a teacher, I'm not supposed to work when I get home. But like, that's really all I can do to kind of, I love what I do, you know?
Yeah.
So I know you love what you do.
I do. I read every night before bed, diligently. Like I rarely miss it. If I do, I kind of feel bad about it. I always find time for myself. Like I do yoga in the morning. I take the dog for a walk. I get up and do yoga, take the dog for a walk. On good days, like I took my motorcycle for a ride today and went fishing. I definitely decompress. Could I do it more? Absolutely. But I've always been, I guess it's the advantage of growing up as an only child because you tend to find things to do to keep you satisfied. But yeah.
What books are we reading right now?
I'm in between books right now. I'm into big biographies. I just finished reading. I read a Ken Burns book about jazz. I'm a big Ken Burns guy. I like his stuff. I've got a couple of options right now that people have sent me. I'm in between selections currently.
Okay, 10 out of 10 would recommend you read The Boy Who Was Raised by a Dog.
I've heard that. You're not the first person that made that recommendation to me. I guess I'll have to add it to the list.
Very, very intense book.
Yeah.
But it puts those are the population of kids I work with, so that book was very meaningful for me. But I think in the broader sense, it's a very deep book to kind of understand more about kids. And I saw the Texas, what's his name? Running for Senate. Why can't I think of his name right now?
Tallarico?
Yes. He talked to this beautiful, beautiful, strong little 4-year-old who questioned him and said, what are you going to, well, as Malcolm X once said, and she said, what are you going to do for my generation? And I thought that was beautiful. And the way he responded was incredible. And what he said was so powerful. He said, yeah, like your generation isn't really, you can't do anything. They really can't. You can't donate, you can't vote. Your voices are silenced.
Kind of
And
true.
I think that book, and it's sad, but it's so true because at the end of the day, it's a future that we're fighting for. But I think what was super powerful about that moment was me being able to tie that book back around to kind of understand what so many different kids are going through in such extreme methods.
Mhm.
And CB, feel free if Fax is up to it to request up and get your
Yeah. Come on.
schmiz rocked.
Come on up, CB. Would love to talk to you. 'Cause
Uh-huh.
if Trump is the best, I'd like to know what he's the best at.
No,
I'm curious.
seriously, let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's see you change our minds, please. I've been waiting. But thank you for what you do. Thank you for
Thanks for saying that.
doing what you can to help us learn. And just wanted to see, now that you said friendly time, how are you doing?
I appreciate that.
So-
There's another book that I have on my nightside table. It's Bagman by Rachel Maddow. It's one of these books. Like, again, I'm a political junkie. That book's about the Nixon White House and Spiro Agnew.
Okay.
The Spiro Agnew and his corruption, which a lot of people don't know about, which I learned a lot about. That's a good one. That I haven't started yet. I have a stack. There's like a stack there that I just. When I'm out and I go to, like, I love old books. I love old bookstores and hardware stores. Those are like those are my jams. There you go.
Well, if you ever come to Chicago, let me know.
Okay.
I'll take you to the best book
I'm
spots.
a total fucking dork. That's just how I roll.
Let's
but
do it.
I appreciate your kindness and your support, friend. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Have a good night.
Of
Be
course,
safe out
lots
there.
of love.
All right, you too. Take care. Yeah, like there's a bookstore in Montpelier. It's called Bear Pond Books. It's the best. It smells like old paper. There's up in the corner, way up in the back, in this little like cupola area. It's like there's one chair, and I oftentimes will hover, making sure somebody gets up out of the chair. Then I'll like squirrel up there. I'll grab my coffee and just hang out there. It's the best. I love that shit. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, the smell, especially the smell of old books, I love it. And hardware stores, man. The problem with me going to hardware stores is I don't have a lot of stuff, with the exception of musical instruments, which I have a shit ton of, like outdoor gear. I got a lot of camping equipment. I've got a lot of like snowboarding equipment and all that kind of stuff. And I got a lot of tools, right? And when I go to hardware stores, when you work and fix your own motorcycle, anybody who rides one, especially a Harley, you need this one particular tool for this one particular thing, and then you get that thing, and then you never need it again until you have to fix your Harley. But right now, I tried to fix my washing machine because it's been bothering me, and I thought I had it fixed. And tonight, it shit the bed on me again. So anyway, I digress. Mitria, how are you?
Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to come up here because I heard you mentioning the Senate races going on in all of these different states.
Yeah.
And first of all, you forgot Michigan, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll survive.
The only reason I did not bring up Michigan is because I clearly think it's going to be won by a Democrat. But yes, You're right. I should have brought up Michigan. You're right.
No, I didn't know you. I'm just messing with you. I'm up here fighting for Abdul like no other. But what I really
Right.
wanted to come up here, and I know that you know this too, I just don't know how often you remind people. And since there's 400 people in here, I thought it'd be great to do it. If you guys see a candidate that you like in a different state, you don't have to be in that state to help them.
Mhm.
You can get on their websites and make phone calls for them, or do postcards or things like that. Some of them do text messaging things and stuff like that. And if you do happen to travel to that area, then sign up for a door knocking event while you're there. You know what I mean? But that's what's happening right now with Abdul. That's why he's getting so big. And even though he's up against $50 million of foreign lobbyist money, he's still leading the polls by 14% right now, which is insane, by the way. So also because his opponent, even though she's also a Democrat, she's clearly showing her crazy every time she gets on a microphone. Bless her for it, to be honest. But that's his ground game, and his volunteer game is so strong. So if you feel like Tallarico is the candidate for Texas and you think he's going to do the best for them, and you really want to practice those political chops of yours, get on his campaign and make calls for Texas. You know what I mean? And just let them know what you know about Tallarico. And you're going to typically be calling people that are registered Democrats as well, which is great. So you're not going to get a lot of the, the calls or whatever. But you might get some of those too. You never know. But at least you'll be helping out his ground game as well. And all that costs you is a little bit of time. I know money's tight for everybody. So these are just things that we can still do to help if you can't help financially.
I love that. I love that.
I mean, I'm on disability, so I'm home 24/7 after a stroke I had in 2023.
Oh, goodness.
And so I have a lot of time, And so if I'm like, you know what, today I'm going to go do something a little more productive than normal, I sign up for phone calling or for phone banking shifts or whatever with Abdul.
It's the best.
And it's also another good thing that I like about it is you get to hear from the people that are also going to be voting. And a lot of times that really does, it motivates you. Thank you for all the gifts, you guys. It really does motivate you. Like you get out there and you're hearing people and you're like, oh, so I'm not just hearing this on my side on TikTok. This is real outside of TikTok also. And those are really good events to go to and really good phone calls to make and really good things to hear when you're a little bit nervous or doubtful or you're suffering PTSD from 2024. So
it's a good point. I phone banked a bunch. I phone banked for John Ossoff. I phone banked for Fetterman. I'll admit that, but I phone banked for Ossoff, and I remember having this conversation with this woman. I think we were on the phone together for 45 minutes. Like I didn't really make a lot of phone calls because we had such a great conversation. It was amazing. I learned everything about her. Yeah. She wasn't an active voter, but to your point, Mitria, it's really a rewarding kind of thing because you get to talk to people, you get to understand what makes people tick. Maybe you can change someone's mind. It's the best. I highly recommend it. Every campaign, especially in a lot of the prominent states like Michigan, like Texas, like Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Iowa, Alaska, all the candidates there are going to look for phone bankers. So actually, you know what, mods, what we need to do, we're going to put together a little sheet. I just got an idea. We'll put together a little how to phone bank. Jessica Craven does that a lot, and she does a lot of it. She has a lot of information on her TikTok and her Instagram page about that. So thank you for that reminder. I digress. Thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thanks for jumping in tonight.
Yeah, no, I just thought it would be a good message for tonight. So.
I completely agree with you. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you very much. Have a good night. Be safe out there. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Okay. I think unless there's somebody else in the box, which I don't think there is, I think we'll wrap. Not a bad night for our first foray. We'll get back on the FYP because this is the algorithm will get triggered in a different way. So we'll have to kind of navigate through that a little bit, but we'll be fine. Who is live right now, friends, that we can raid? I'm never usually up this late. Although I kind of am, but not really engaged. I'm usually reading at this point, which is fine. The dog is looking at me like, can we go for a walk? I'm like, no, dude, whatever. Maddie Politics? Yeah, everybody, Politics with Matt. Please go raid him. Tell him we said hello. Remember, tomorrow morning, it's Free Speech Friday on our daily show from 8 until noon Eastern time, and we're going to play a game. I'm going to test you on whether or not you can identify propaganda, disinformation, and misinformation. To those of you who've taken the test 2 times, you did better the second time, but I always call you the smartest chat on TikTok. Tomorrow morning is your time to prove it. I appreciate you guys being here, friends. Let me just flip the background around so we can make it an official outro for our show tonight. There's always something to do, friends. Please, please, please do your best to get out there and do whatever it is. And until next time, that is a wrap. Thanks for coming tonight, friends, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Peace. Everybody have a good night.
FSM News on the skyline glow. Cut the static, let the truth winds blow. Facts don't matter in the fire and the fray. We roll the reel, then fade away. Flash the headline, stitch the night. Truth in the frame, wrongs in the light. If FSM News keeps calling it back, one last shot, and that's a wrap. Facts don't matter even when they shout. We close the scene, no fear, no doubt. FSM News stamped on the final clap. Curtains fall, yeah, that's a wrap.